would not believe what I'm seeing right now. Ta-da! We started the morning with a stroll through Kalpa's quiet little lanes, where every corner looked like it belonged on a postcard. Beautiful and breathtaking. And then came for us the breakfast, with front row seats to the mighty Kinnaur Kailash ranges. Fueled by chai and the best breakfast and an unreasonable amount of excitement, we headed towards our destination, Nako. We left behind Kalpa's apple orchards and pine covered slopes, and almost without a warning, as we got busy making friends and playing cards, the landscape began to transform. The cute green hills of Kalpa slowly bowed out, and in came the gigantic rugged mountains. The mountains, so massive, with massive cliffs and valleys so deep that they made us double check our existence. Just when we thought the scenery couldn't get any more epic, we reached the beautiful Khab Sangam, where the emerald green Spiti river meets the muddy Sutlej in a stunning collision of colors. It looked less like a river confluence and more like a Mother Nature's grand finale. As if the mountains hadn't shown off enough already, Rio Purgel towards the left of Khab Sangam made a guest appearance in the distance. At over 22,000 feet, Himachal's highest peak stood there casually stealing attention without saying a word. With barely any trees in sight, the landscape transformed into shades of brown, gold, and grey, giving us our first glimpse of the Trans-Himalayan desert. As the altitude increased, the mountains grew taller, the valleys deeper, and the scenery wilder. Every few minutes, we found ourselves reaching for our cameras, only to realize the next view was somehow even better. After hours of being driven through dramatic mountain terrain, the sight of the village felt almost magical. Nestled beside its tranquil lake and watched over by the mighty Rio Purgel in the distance, Nako welcomed us with a kind of peace that only the Himalayas could offer. Only later did we realize that we had arrived during one of Nako's festive celebrations held just before Tibetan New Year, or Losar. Families had come together in traditional attire, folk songs echoed through the narrow lanes, and the whole village felt alive with joy and anticipation for the new year ahead. No stage, no tickets, and no grand event management. Just locals celebrating their culture the way they had for generations. And this sense of community made us feel less like tourists and more like guests at a village wide family gathering. Leaving the celebrations behind, a short uphill walk brought us to the ancient Nako Monastery standing quietly above the village. Built over 1,000 years ago, the Nako Monastery is one of the oldest Buddhist monasteries in the Himalayas. While photography was not allowed inside, the interiors were unforgettable. Dimly lit prayer halls, centuries old murals, intricate sculptures, and walls adorned with golden artwork that seemed to glow in the soft light. From the monastery, we wandered deeper into the heart of Nako, following narrow paths that wound between centuries old stone walls and traditional stone houses. The village felt untouched by time. Every alley, wooden doorway, and prayer flag seemed to whisper stories from another era. As we strolled through the maze-like lanes, the festive chatter slowly faded, replaced by a quiet mountain serenity. As we wandered through the narrow lanes, we caught glimpses of the everyday life in Nako. After winding through the stone lanes of Nako, we caught our first glimpse of the lake and instantly slowed our pace. Nestled quietly in the middle of the village, the water was so still that it reflected the surrounding mountains like a perfect mirror. Looking at the lake from a distance was beautiful, but walking on it was a different feeling. The surface had frozen into a sheet of glass like ice, and with every careful step, we found ourselves standing in the middle of the lake that only reflected the sky and the surrounding. What had looked like a mirror from afar had transformed into nature's very own ice rink, with mountains reflected in the patches of crystal ice and the village watching quietly from the shore. It was one of those moments that felt too unreal to be true. And yet, they were there. I was there, and that was a moment for me. Eventually, we then returned and started following the villagers through the winding lanes again. The distant sound of folk songs grew louder with each step, eventually leading us to the heart of the celebrations where the locals had gathered to sing, dance, and welcome the festive season together.
एक बार इधर ये यार इधर बोलना चाहिए